time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. And we have quite the day ahead of us. Guys, I'm still waiting for Emily D. Baker to enter the room, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging because I saw a few people were like, did it start yet? Well, now it's officially started. Until she gets in the room, I just want to talk about a few things. Tonight is the night everyone's been waiting for. We are finally dropping the Fallon exclusive interview. We're dropping it at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. So if you guys are around, make sure you join. I'm setting it as a premiere. That way we can all live chat and talk about it as it's going on. I think it's going to be so much fun. Again, guys, there are so many things that are covered in this interview. So many emotions. It was intense. And when I say intense, I think it was actually probably therapeutic for Fallon to finally get this off her chest. I do have to say there were a lot of people who were questioning her emotions. And you guys have to remember, she had a blended family. She had, her kids, his kids, and there's real emotions from someone who comes from a split family. It really is hard to kind of all of a sudden all be together as one unit and then just split off. So I just want to make sure that everybody is sympathetic to her emotions and realizes, this is a real human being. Fallon is a human being who is going through a lot and very publicly. So let's just all be there, be supportive. And if you have any harsh comments, I don't know. I don't want to say keep them to yourselves. We're all allowed our opinions, but I just want you guys to go into it with an open mind. Also, guys, of course, we are here to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills today. I'm curious where Emily is. Let me text her right now. Okay, I just texted her. All right, guys, so there's 100 people in the room. Go ahead, smash that like button, and let's get this started. In the meantime, I'll drop the link if anybody wants to join me in this conversation. And boom. Okay. All right, guys. Hey, it's Adams. It's D-Day. Yay, can't wait. Thank you. Okay, so this episode was really intense, and I feel kind of all over the place when it comes to this Sutton drama. Sutton obviously is trying to get her feelings out there, and she's being a little bit emotional in this episode. She feels a certain way after being left out, and then we kind of find out after dissecting it a little bit that it's not that she feels necessarily that she was left out, but she has so many other things that are adding to these emotions. She's moving out of her dream house. She has to pack everything up. She's currently living in Kyle's rental, and it just is what it is. Moving forward, I have a few people who are in the room. Don't forget to hit that like button. Yes, thank you, Shan. I'm going to bring up Natalie Mbinzi while we wait for Emily D. Baker and just see what Natalie has to say. And also Kempire.
Hey. Oh, wow.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good. I think that I'm hoping, because Emily is on Central Time, I'm hoping she didn't think it was 11 a.m. Central. Oh my gosh. If she does, then we'll just have to steal her time tomorrow. This was an intense episode.
It was in a lot of different ways. I mean, I enjoyed it, though. I'm enjoying Beverly Hills because I haven't really enjoyed it in the last couple of seasons. But this episode was interesting. I want to hear your perspective, though, because towards the end with Crystal was interesting. And at first I was sort of like, why is Crystal not coming out of her room? But then I had a different perspective on it.
Right. No, and when Crystal wasn't coming out of the room, at first I was like, you stood your ground so well. But then all of a sudden, when she explained to Kyle that this was too much for her, I feel like I can see it from both sides. She feels like this is a lot for her. And we all know that it's a lot for anyone coming into a new housewife situation. But at the end of the day, was Sutton's actions invasive enough to warrant her to not show up for the last day of filming?
I think since we're going to go there already, I just feel like I think she was triggered. Originally, I thought, well, she's being real stuck up because I've been the first to call her an elitist this entire season so far. But I think something may have happened in her past, because for her to ball up the way that she did, and even her emotional reaction at the end says to me something may have happened. And I'm not sure if she's going to open up this season about it. Not that she has to, but I do feel like something serious happened to her. And being, first of all, I don't like when anyone knocks and then just opens the door. Wait for me to tell you to come in.
I said that to Jason. We were watching this together, and Jason's like, she just walked in the room. It's a bunch of women. It's not like there are men in the house. This isn't Real Housewives of Potomac when Ashley Darby invites everyone over for a girls' trip, and then Michael Darby comes in like creeping in. You know what I mean? Like this is a bunch of women in the house. But also, I think that you're absolutely right. I feel like this must have been a triggering moment for her that kind of put a little bit of a light on maybe something that happened in her past, and she didn't like it. She didn't respond well to it at all.
And I know a lot of people are going to probably say, why didn't she say that, on the boat? Why did she wait till the next day? But like we've seen with other people that have been, victims, a lot of times their emotional reactions are a little bit delayed, and they don't necessarily have it in the moment. And maybe she really did need a break from the group because she was triggered the night before.
Right. Oof. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I'm liking Crystal. I think she really has the ability to stick up for herself. I think that she's kind of coming right out of the gate and speaking her mind and blending in well with the rest of the women. But Sutton is trying really hard to make sure that they have this friendship with no rifts. I did an interview with Sutton last year, and I really enjoyed our conversation. I was rooting for Sutton to get a diamond, but then when they do all of the flashbacks of her riffs with all of the other women, and sometimes the let the mouse go and getting a little bit dramatic, I'm thinking in my head, I'm on the fence.
You know what it is? I like Sutton. I liked Sutton last season. This season, Sutton's being Sutton. The whole conversation that they had last week about race, look, let's put that to the side for now. For now, we have to put it to the side. I think Sutton is just quirky. She's weird, and I didn't love Crystal calling her crazy, but I think Sutton
that's extreme.
Yeah. I don't think Sutton's necessarily crazy. I think Sutton is very quirky in a very opposite way of Kathy. Quirky Kathy is sort of very funny to laugh at, but Sutton's very dramatic. And I don't even want to use the word dramatic. I just feel like Sutton is just
better than crazy. I said it's better than crazy.
Yeah, I think she was going too hard on, she's crazy, she's weird. She's weird, but I can see why someone like Garcelle has gravitated towards her and may feel a little bit protective, because I think Garcelle may have seen a different side of her off camera that we don't know about. And I'm kind of glad to see her, and I was also happy as well that she got a diamond, because I do want to see a little bit more of her life. But I'm not giving her an excuse, for what she did the last couple of episodes. But at the same time, like I said to you before, don't knock on my door and just come right on in.
Right.
I'm triggered by that.
Especially when you're not the person that should be walking right out of all of the women. She should not be the one who would be walking in anyways. And I think that she's almost giving us a little bit of Heather Thompson vibes right now, where she's trying to do anything she can to, I mean, I'm not being harsh. Guys, there's 250 in the room. Go ahead, smash that like button. Let's get more eyes. But I'm not being harsh. I feel like she's just trying really hard to be liked, not just by the ones that already like her, but by everyone. She doesn't want to come into this and have a riff with Crystal. But I do have to defend Crystal on one thing. Crystal was trying to share her experiences, what it was like walking in her shoes for her and her family. And Sutton did shut off the conversation really quick. She didn't allow her to speak her piece and talk about her experiences. And Sutton wouldn't like that if Crystal did that to her.
Yeah. I felt, backtracking to that moment, because both you and I were rooting for Sutton to get this diamond, it really made me go, oh, girl, I was rooting for you. Why don't do this to us?
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I'm hoping that this does a 180. And I was actually surprised to see Kyle. Oh, gosh. I was surprised to see Kyle Richards come in, and Kyle is letting her know, like, listen, you're overreacting, you're being dramatic. And I'm thinking in my head, Kyle has to have some sort of allegiance to Sutton because she's renting her home to her. But it's coming off a little bit that Kyle just doesn't give a shit. She's like, okay, I'm renting my house to you, but that doesn't mean that you're off limits when it comes to how I feel and how I'm going to express how I feel about how you, Sutton, are acting. And Kyle even addressed this when you remember when they all put their hands in and they called themselves the Fox Force 5.
Oh yeah.
Well, Sutton felt left out of that too, and Kyle said, "Okay, well, we don't say anything about you and Garcelle, so why are you chiming in on this?"
Yeah, I think I would, backtracking to how Sutton might feel. I guess I was feeling a little soft for Sutton this episode because I kind of feel as if, because I think a lot of people, because people love my face when I have reactions. So a lot of times people will kind of like poke the bear all the time with me. So I think I would have felt left out as well and been like, are they talking about me? I think I would have felt a little bit insecure in that particular moment. So I don't blame her for getting emotional because she's reacting the way that Sutton would react. I probably would react differently, but I also wouldn't like it that there's this running joke and I'm the only one that doesn't know.
Right. It almost kind of makes you an insecure person or not. It kind of makes you think, oh, okay, if everyone else is in on the joke, is the joke, am I the joke?
Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of felt for her in that moment because I had to, and this is what we don't do as a people, put ourselves in other people's shoes. And I'm sort of like, how would I feel in that particular moment? Especially all of these women that have such big personalities are on this show. It's being filmed as well. There's that other component. This is being filmed and there's a running joke on film that's seen by millions of people.
Right.
I wouldn't like it.
I mean, no, that's fair. That's fair. And when Lisa Rinna goes to check on her and she's rolling her face because she has her emotions, I have to say too, I'm a Cancer. I get emotional. I'm an empath. I think at least that's what Femtero tells me. If I see someone wearing their emotions, I'm going to emulate those emotions. I like that word. I'm going to emulate those emotions. And, for her, she is about to cry and break down at any moment. She feels like, okay, I'm sorry, I overreacted, but I've been called crazy. I've been called, she's
running a list. She has a running list.
An actual list. When you have a list, there's a problem.
And then when she was doing, what was that thing that she had? This is calming for me. When she was doing that with Crystal on the boat, I was like, she took it from her room and brought it on the boat. It's COVID, girl. Why are you bringing that around? You're spreading germs.
Okay. Gosh, lay off of Sutton.
We will never be the same after COVID.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So moving forward, though, all of the women decide to go off their separate ways. Lisa Rinna wants to do yoga. Nobody wants to join her. Garcelle and Crystal go to get coffee and they go to have the conversation. And Garcelle's like, what was that conversation about? What happened? And they talk about, the conversation of race and how she felt like Sutton was a little bit out of line with cutting her off. Garcelle is the perfect person, though, in my opinion, to have this conversation with because she's the only one who will actually share from, I guess, her point of view of forming this new friendship with Sutton, how she feels and not be biased. You know what I mean? She's kind of letting Crystal know, I understand where you're coming from, but I think I've had only good encounters with Sutton. So hopefully Crystal will eventually have the same.
I'm hoping, that's the thing I like about Garcelle. I think Garcelle is a straight shooter. So I do think that if Garcelle doesn't agree with Sutton, she's going to let her know. If she doesn't agree with Crystal, she's going to let her know. I don't think she has an alliance in that way. But I also think that this whole Denise situation, why is Denise still a character on the show?
I don't know why they're still talking about her, but I think when you sign the contract, you're fair game forever. Like how they can play B-roll or something back from when Brandi Glanville said something, but Brandi Glanville's not getting a check from that. Yeah. I think that you're always fair game once they have that footage and you signed on to release that footage to them for forever.
It's kind of sad though, because Lisa Rinna has no storyline at all. And you see in this
like episode, a Disick thing.
well, that, and then of course her telling this, I guess she's also another one using an analogy about the incident that her husband's friend had and associating it with, I love that Garcelle called her out on. It was like, girl, stop. Don't do it.
It's not the same thing. And I like when Garcelle says, she should never tell that story again. It's really not the same thing. And for Lisa Rinna, I like Lisa Rinna for the show because I think that she constantly is keeping things moving. Mm-hmm. I think she's ruthless and I would never want to be a part of an ensemble cast with her because nothing in my life would be secure because she will take whatever she can against whoever she has to in order to get her paycheck. It's business first. It's not, you know what I mean?
I also think it was dangerous what she was saying, because her analogy in that particular situation and then associating it with Denise, she made it seem as if she knew more about what was going on with Denise and to make it almost criminal. And I didn't like that. To me, that was very dangerous.
No, and then for Erika to say, I think Lisa knows more than what she shared with us. And Garcelle's like, do you know? And Erika's like, no, I don't know anything.
Then shut up, Erika.
Why are you speaking on it? And I like Erika, and I'm hoping when all of this comes out that she had no involvement. So I'm rooting for Erika to not kind of be crucified at the end of all of this and go down with her soon-to-be ex-husband. I'm hoping she really had no involvement. But in this moment, she just sounds silly. It's like, don't speak on it and then say, no, I don't know. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it was a weird moment. I was sort of like, Erika, you're here? Oh, okay. I hate the fact that they made it seem as if we were going to know about this divorce and get a little bit more in this episode, and it was the last couple of minutes of this episode.
It's Bravo.
I know, I get annoyed every time.
But we know what's going to happen. It's like when they give us that main part of the storyline in a trailer, and then we don't get it until 9 episodes in. But this is coming pretty fast, to be honest with you. If we get it next episode, then it's all uphill from here.
Well, according to Andy, based on what everyone is saying, they don't think she's going to really bring it this season. According to him, that she does, but I don't trust him either. Nope, I said it. Andy, the opinions of your guests are theirs alone.
Andy Cohen, I did not say that. I am a stan Andy Cohen.
I'll be away anyway when BravoCon happens.
Okay, well, I'll send you photos. No, but for Lisa Rinna, I think that she's backpedaling really fast, and she's trying to get herself out of this hole that she's dug herself into by letting the women know, listen, I was a bad friend. I don't know why I kept going. I don't know why I was like a dog with a bone, and I just wouldn't leave it alone. I just wanted her to be honest. But at the end of the day, how much does this really affect you in your life for you to continue to go after her? Denise sat down with you, said it didn't happen. At what point do you decide, okay, this is my friend, I have to listen to my friend? Even though Brandy has the receipts, what is more valuable? You losing this friendship over Brandy Glanville or your friendship, right?
Lisa Rinna showed us her true colors last season. And if you're a friend of Lisa Rinna, understand Lisa Rinna will throw you under a bus at any given moment, especially if it means her getting a paycheck or protecting her family. Because the only people I feel like she won't throw under a bus, well, no, I wouldn't even say her kids, but definitely her husband.
I just think it's Erika who she won't throw under the bus. There's some allegiance to Erika yet. No, you're right, yet. But I feel like there's some allegiance to Erika because, I think we're going to see it play out the rest of the season. But no, I do sort of agree with you that really no one's off limits. By the way, can we talk about the fact that Erika, they keep catching these moments where Erika's talking about her husband, and then on the boat, she's like, my husband loves what he does. He loves to work. He loves being a lawyer. And I was reading the comments, and they're like, he loves to allegedly embezzle. I was like, that's so hard. She's eating all of these words. I just would hate to be on her side of the spectrum with all of this.
It's definitely a tough position to be in regards to Erika. And look, I don't want to crucify Erika either. However, do I believe that she knew what was happening? Of course not. She's not an attorney, but she did cash those checks in regards to her LLC. So she's not completely innocent. You know what I mean? So, and this divorce, do I believe it was very convenient? Yeah, I kind of do.
Okay. She was talking and we're going to see how this plays out, but she was talking about how, during COVID, they had the opportunity to have sit-down dinners and really reconnect and kind of have these conversations they haven't had in so long because they were both so busy. And she praises her husband. And then all of a sudden, she's talking about him like this. 4 days later or 5 days later, she files for divorce and then sends a text message to the rest of the women.
And there was no separation. It just seems
it was very fast.
Yeah, it was a very convenient time. And not to say that things couldn't have been, falling apart beforehand, because I know I'm the type of person, y'all never, once I'm married, if things were falling apart, you would never know until I filed for divorce. I'm just that private. Yes, I'm in everyone else's business, but I'm still very private with my own business.
No, I honestly feel like I'm the same way. The problem is when you start involving a lot of people in your relationship, when things are going bad, that sits with people, and then you've allowed them to have these opinions. And then when you make up with your partner, whether you're husband, wife, wife, whatever the case is, when you make up with that person, then you leave all of these other people with these residual feelings, and you can't take it back. When you say something, your words are very powerful. And when you share things, people are going to have emotions, especially if they have had a longer relationship with you and not so much your partner. They're going to sit with that and be like, you know what? You deserve better. Don't take this shit.
And I wonder how the ladies are going to react, what their opinions will be, because like you're saying, once you've opened this up to your friend group, and then if they start being critical, it's very likely, we've seen this happen in other relationships where they end up back together. So not that I see that ever happening in this particular situation.
This one is not getting back together. This is not coming back together. But guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. Let's get to 500 in the room. But I don't see them getting back together. I am kind of right there with Kyle and all of the other women in their reactions on their interviews when they're like, how did you just go from this to all of a sudden you filed for divorce? There are so many questions, but at the end of the day, Erika said it best in her confessional when she was like, listen, you don't know what someone else is going through in their life. So you shouldn't even pretend to know. I can see that. And I think that she's referencing herself to some capacity.
I still don't trust Erika.
Okay.
I mean, look, and based on the comments that I've seen in regards to, your coverage of it and what I've seen online on, other blogs, people don't trust Erika. And look, she's lived a lavish lifestyle. The whole fact that she's not willing to maybe give up some of that because victims of, crash victims and widows are involved and orphans are involved. It's kind of scary. It's a kind of scary thought. Look, she is going to have to give up some portion of that, I think. I think at the end of this, she will have to give up some of it. Right.
Well, there's more news that has come out about that, and we're going to be talking about that later. But I'm going to be talking about this later too. But you heard that Tom Girardi has finally spoken out about his conservatorship, right?
No.
Yes. So Tom Girardi has finally actually spoken out about his conservatorship, and I don't want to put words into his mouth. This is what he said. I'm going to go ahead and read it.
I thought you were going to pull up Tom Girardi. I was like, oh, what?
Oh my gosh, no. I would never.
You're just dropping exclusives like this.
Page 6 covered this. And obviously, page 6, they do their work. So page 6 said Robert Girardi obviously is the conservator of Tom Girardi. Tom Girardi doesn't feel like that's necessary. And Tom said, in quotes, obviously, I disagree with the conservatorship altogether. He said, I think that we should put together the reasons why the conservatorship should be dissolved, and then we'll address the court. Right now, I have nothing to say to the court.
Oh, okay.
So, he's speaking. That's the first time we've heard anything from Tom Girardi since October, November. Not true. He did speeches and stuff in November, December, or whatever, seminars, whatever they were. But I'm saying it's the first time he's addressing this. But do you think it's a game?
I honestly do. Look, I don't know if it's a game or not, but I do believe it is. Maybe because I like to believe the worst part.
That's terrible. You walk your life trying to believe the worst?
No, not in every situation, but this particular story, yes, I want to believe the worst. Well, but based on what I've been hearing from other attorneys in California, allegedly, he's been known to have a very shady situation, allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, that's a very important word, especially when we're dealing with a former high-power attorney.
Well, that has dementia, allegedly.
And Alzheimer's.
Damn.
Allegedly.
This is very convenient timing. The divorce.
And that's the thing. That's what nobody can get over the timing of all of this. And I'm not, again, nobody's here to crucify. Let's just state the facts. No opinion is here on my side. This is just the facts. Erika files for divorce. all of a sudden, all these lawsuits are coming out. He's being sued for alleged embezzlement for millions and millions of dollars. I believe it's upwards of $50 million at this point. So he's being sued for millions of dollars for allegedly embezzling money from clients, creditors, and debtors. Okay, from there, move forward. Now he's taken to court, and within the court, he was diagnosed with dementia and late onset Alzheimer's. Okay, then they're liquidating all of his assets, and the Pasadena mansion is one of those assets. He tried to stay in the home as long as he can, or the mansion, whatever the case is, and then the mansion was allegedly burglarized, right? Okay, so that was kind of interesting how that happened. And then moving forward, other documents start coming out. And then Erika Girardi now is saying that she does not want to share her assets because they're not community property. Aside from a few household items that they share, those were gifts to her. So over the span of her 20-year marriage, she received allegedly over $20 million in gifts. And she does not want to give those up. She feels like, I think, and I don't know how she feels, but I think she's feeling like, listen, I had nothing to do with this. These were gifts. I was in this marriage. I did my time. Almost like you served a prison sentence, no pun intended. But I did my time. So I'm not walking out of this marriage with nothing. And now fans feel like, well, girl, you wouldn't have had half of it had your husband not have been allegedly doing shady business practices.
And this is really blood money.
This is why Hulu is coming out with The Housewife and The Hustler. Honestly, this is going, and after this is going to be a Lifetime movie or something, a Netflix.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? This is huge. And there's so many facts that we don't even know. If it weren't for Ronald Richards and Emily D. Baker, and I saw somebody said, did Emily D. Baker text you back? She hasn't texted me back yet. I believe she thought it was 11 p.m. Central Time, guys. That was totally my fault. I apologize. I'll have to apologize to her as well. I think we wouldn't know as much as we do without them being able to dissect the legal jargon of it all and let us know after reading the documents as to what exactly is going on. If you give me a contract or a document or something like that, and it starts going through and it's like plaintiff this, I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm done. Jason, let's go to the beach. Let's do something. I can't read this. It's giving me a headache. And I have is it ADD, ADHD? I don't want to self-diagnose myself, but I look at the lines and then they start getting blurred and I'm like, oh, wow, look, there's a butterfly. I can't do it. I can't.
Do you recall how much money he put into her LLC?
I think they were saying, I don't know verbatim.
Okay.
I think they were saying somewhere around, wasn't it somewhere allegedly around 20?
That's what I was thinking. That around there, like 15 to 20 million dollars into her LLC. So imagine that amount of money he's put into her LLC, very conveniently investing in the Erika Jayne, I don't know whatever you want to call her career. $20
million, you don't have to invest it. That's like, you shouldn't even have to come up in your career. That's buying you a career. $20 million, you shouldn't even have to put out a song and you should be able to get a Grammy.
Well, that
$20
part.
million. You know what
I mean?
Part.
I agree.
Gia Judice, if she came up with $20 million, her whatever song that went viral on TikTok should get a Grammy. You're paying that kind of money for a career, you should have.
Well, I also think it was him, allegedly trying to spread his money. God only knows where he put his money in other places that we don't even know about outside the country.
But we don't know that.
We don't know. But I'm just saying. I also think he was pretty. Maybe he does have dementia. Maybe he does, because some of his moves in the last couple of years it doesn't seem smart.
Yeah, but also we have to say he does have dementia because he was diagnosed with it by someone who has the credentials to do so. So from what we know, he does have dementia and onset Alzheimer's. We can't take that away from him. I know it comes off a little bit like,
but aren't the people suing them also questioning that diagnosis as well, though? So that's why I said allegedly.
Yeah, it's not just the plaintiffs and the creditors and debtors. I mean, it's the lawyers, other people who were a part of his law firm. There are a lot of people who are coming forward and they're like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? And when I say I mean,
so that's the reason why I said allegedly, because not everyone is convinced. And there are a lot of people you can buy to give you what you want.
And you know what? That's the that's not just I didn't learn that until living in Los Angeles, how shady business practices can be and how far money and relationships go in order to get you exactly what you want, even if it's done the wrong way. I never realized that. I feel like I lived under a rock in my little South Florida and then Tennessee bubble, and everybody was like, hi, good morning, sweet, nice. And then I went to California. I remember I was working at a place called, I might have said this story before, but I was working at a place called Malibu Fish Grill on Sunset. And I was smiling and I was so happy when I first moved there. And somebody came up and I was like, hi. And they're like, I'm going to take a kosher cookie. And I was like, oh, okay, great. And they're like, you're so happy. I was like, why wouldn't I be? They're like, did you just move here? I was like, yeah. They're like, okay, give it a year. You won't look like that. I'm like,
oh.
The hell
and then you left California.
Well, I left California because of the pandemic, and obviously it's a lot more expensive. And as I'm getting into my old age, I want to accumulate something in my life, you know, and I can't go buy a house or a condo in California. There's no way I can afford that. Huh?
Yet.
Hey, I like that. Glass half full.
You never know. After this Fallon interview might be a whole nother situation.
Oh my gosh. Maybe they'll let me be the first gay man on The Real. The first man in general.
On The Real?
I don't know. Maybe.
No. I give them a couple more years.
Oh, E-Pop Daily? No.
Or that. I prefer that. There's a little more job security there, I think.
Okay. Well, I feel like we're reaching out into the stratosphere over here for what may or may not be. But getting back to
not stratosphere.
Atmosphere?
No, not that either. Very possible. Anything is possible, Adam. It could be right outside your door.
I know what's right outside my door. And I can hear it. I can hear it. And I can also hear this damn jackhammer again.
And we can't hear it. We can't hear it at all.
Okay. This mic, thank you so much, Jason, for the Christmas present, because this mic seriously kills it.
I have the same one.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, it cancels out all noise. I did a podcast with DJ Richie Sky the other day, and it was, and I was like, can you hear that? He's like, I can't hear anything. I was like, oh, wow.
But you know, when I record my podcast with my air conditioning, like you can't hear my air conditioning now, but when I record the podcast, you can hear it. So I'm like, I got to figure this out. So I have to turn off the air conditioning, sweat while I'm doing a podcast.
Okay. All right, getting back into it. Obviously, we know we have Lisa Rinna. She was shut down by Garcelle. She kept on trying to pressure the rest of the women. Get in the pool, get in the pool, get in the pool. And Garcelle just kind of shut her down and was like, you need to listen. They don't want to go in the pool. And Lisa just looked at her and was like, oh. And she took it
in a nice way.
She did it in a nice way, but you know she felt shut down. And I was applauding Garcelle. Dorit was applauding Garcelle. Erika was applauding Garcelle. And I love that Dorit was like, I'm not coming out of the room if you continue to call me Dorit. It's like, Kathy's like, I don't even know who the hell half of you guys are. But hi, ladies. Good morning. He's like,
Kathy didn't bring a lot this particular episode. I mean, there were little moments. I think last week's episode, she brought a lot more. But I like Kathy as an addition. I think she's actually really, really funny.
I think when everyone kept on saying how hilarious she was, I was like, okay, we're trying to hype her up. And I thought that she would be the perfect fit for Beverly Hills anyways, because she is Beverly Hills. I mean, everyone knows who Kathy Hilton is. But when they're like, she has the funniest personality, I'm like, you don't really know. We see a figure. We see Google images. We see her standing next to her famous daughter, and we just see her. We don't get that personality. So anytime we've seen her on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills before, she's standing there sort of in the background. She says, hi, how are you? Very sweet face. And then just like goes about her business. We haven't seen that side. So I really wasn't expecting it. And it's kind of funny to see somebody with so much wealth sort of just be like, as quirky as she is. Who drinks Red Bull at 1 o'clock in the morning, first of all? She doesn't have a fan in. I mean, she doesn't know anybody's names. She just kind of walks through life and is like, you know?
I love that about her, because she really is just herself. I don't think she even notices the cameras. I wouldn't be surprised if she starts talking to the camera. Well, she did look at the camera, not last week's episode, a previous episode. I'm like, she's just breaking the fourth wall. But I honestly think because things are opening back up, we won't see Kathy Hilton next season. I think she's like, I did this because I was bored.
Yeah, that's what her daughter said. She's like, I'm too busy. I want to bring this up really quick. Cubby said, you are so good together, start your own show. And then Jason said, coming soon, I think. I forgot to tell you or ask you. I didn't forget to tell you. I forgot to ask you. And I have to put you on the spot now. We did such a great job on 90 Day Fiancé that I was wondering if you and Miriam would join me almost any Monday that you can.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Right, guys,
I mean, I'm literally here either way.
Well, we just got to lock you in, you know?
Oh.
Sometimes I even message you and I'm like, this wasn't the best episode, or maybe this was, you know, I need someone to help me carry this because it's fun, you know, it's fun to come on and talk about the episode, but I don't want to come on and talk about what everybody's already seen. I want to come on and share opinions with other callers and kind of bring people up and put them down and swap out opinions. One person might say, I hate her. And the other person's like, don't listen to that. But, you know? You know what I mean?
You already know I dig deep into like Discovery Plus and watching all those additional shows. And then, of course, I see what's going on online. So, look, I love talking. I love talking with you, of course, but I also love talking about 90 Day Fiancé. And Beverly Hills, like, obviously.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to have to wait for the rest of Beverly Fools to unfold. Beverly Hills to unfold. And while we do, we have so many other great shows coming. But guys, stick with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because I think it's about to start getting really good. In the meantime, this week, the second episode of Family Karma came out. I'm loving it already. I love the new additions. I think it's going to be great. And we're having Bali on with us at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. I know that for a fact. She's in Miami. Bali, please. Please show up to your call time, Bali. Please. But no, I what was I going to say?
I just said I love Bali.
I love Bali too. I was going to release a video of Jason and Bali dancing on the dance floor that night because Jason, it wasn't the one I put on Instagram, but they were all over the place. And Jason was like, absolutely not. Unless you want me to put some videos of you up on your YouTube while you're sleeping.
Oh, damn. Cold-blooded.
Yeah, that's 7 years. Listen.
How was the anniversary?
That's how we get down. It was great. We ended up, I came home. I didn't think that Jason was going to get flowers or anything. I came home. There was flowers and a card. I got Jason 8 dozen roses, 1 dozen for each year, and then 1 for good luck. And then he had to work. I had to work a little bit, obviously, because I had to get off. And then after that, we took the dogs on a ferry over to this island called Peanut Island, where they got to run around. We found starfishes and stuff. The dogs went on the sandbar, came back, boom, showered, and then we went to a really nice dinner. So it was a great night.
Oh, that's nice. Happy anniversary. 7 years. That's a long, that's like golden years in the gay world, you know.
I know. It's like we're dogs. Golden years in the, yes, I know. All right, Campfire. Well, before we go and get ready for this next one coming up, can you let anyone know who will be watching or wondering where we can find you? And also, will you be around for Family Karma?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because I told Bali I'm only going to bring her up for like maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes just to come on and talk about the premiere and everything like that. I don't want to keep her too long and get her in trouble with the network because I can't make it an interview without getting it approved. I don't want to burn my relationships with Bravo or NBC, and I don't want to get her in trouble either. So she's going to pop on, say hi to everybody, get us started, kick us off, and then we're going to go from there. So if you're around and you want to talk about it and you watched the episode last night,
I did.
I'd love to have you talk about it.
Of course. So yeah, everyone can follow me on the Campfire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV recaps, and more. And of course, my podcast comes out every Friday, Campfire Radio on all podcast platforms.
And that didn't take 20 seconds. Campfire, I appreciate the hell out of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Guys, I'm going to be taking more callers on the Family Karma recap. I was just honestly sitting here waiting, wondering if we were going to get Emily D. Baker. It was totally my fault. I know that she's on Central Time. I thought I put Eastern Time. I don't know if I did or not. I know it was on the StreamYard, obviously, because we all looked at it, but I don't know if I put that in the text message. So I dropped the ball. This has been a crazy week. Literally, this has been insane, and I think the rest of it is about to get a little bit more insane. But stick with us, and we'll see what happens. And if you aren't making it to the next video, don't forget tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. I don't even know what the other time zones are, but the point is we are going to air the Fallon exclusive interview. There's going to be a lot of emotions, and I'll be live chatting with all of you. I can't wait. See you soon, Kempire.
I'll see you. Thank you.
All right, bye. All right, guys, make sure you go follow Kempire, and he never skips a beat. I love all of you guys for joining us. I'm so sorry about the Emily D. Baker stuff, but we will see you at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time, which is in 30 short minutes. So see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.